In this lesson, we will learn how to preview our animations in real time. We shouldn't really get into the habit of trusting the frame rate in Cinema 4D to determine if our animations are playing back at their true speed. For lighter scenes, this is okay, but for heavier scenes where we notice a bit of lag, this becomes a problem because then we don't quite truly know if our timing works. So instead what we could do is create a real-time preview. That way we know for sure that our timing is on point. So let's say we go ahead and take a look at how to create a real-time preview, and we'll create one for our airship, the cycle that we've made. Now what I like to do is first start by hiding objects we don't want to see in our preview. So under the filter menu, we can go in and we could start to either uncheck items we would not like to have in our preview, or we could simply go ahead and choose none, and then go back to filter, and we'll start to show objects we'd like to see. So that's going to be polygonal objects. If you're working with any hypernerve objects, you can go ahead and show those. And you could also go ahead and turn on the gradient background. All right, so next what we do is go to the render menu and choose make preview. So from here, if we choose this, now we have this dialog window that pops up that allows us to choose what kind of render we'd like to create. So from this, if we wanted to, we can create a full-fledged render. However, since this is just for previewing purposes, and since a lot has gone into the materials of our airship, instead what we could do is go ahead and switch to something that would give us a faster preview. Because remember, we're just testing the timing. So let's go ahead and use the hardware preview. And then next we can choose our range. Since we'd like to preview our entire range from 0 to 300, we can go ahead and leave this first option checked. But notice you could also use your preview range or a manual range if you'd like. And then you can determine the size of your preview. I tend to keep this size pretty small. Maybe about a value of 640 would work. And that's going to be a good enough size for us just to make sure that everything is moving at a good speed. Next, you can go ahead and check your frame rate from here and edit that. And then you can go ahead and check your file format, whether you'd like it to be rendered out as a QuickTime movie or an AVI. And then if you go to options, here's where you get to your compression settings. So watch, if we were to go in and create a preview with our current settings, I'll go ahead and choose OK. You'll notice at the bottom left-hand corner of Cinema 4D, it starts to render out our preview. So we're given a batch render, and we'll give it a quick second. It's almost done. And then once we're finished, notice our preview appears. So we start to work with Cinema 4D's picture viewer to view this preview. So we can go ahead and play this back from here, and notice the animation plays back at its true speed. Beautiful. And notice our other playback controls. We can go ahead and play it in reverse. Sometimes this is very helpful, believe it or not, because we can test to make sure that our timing looks good even in reverse. And the trick behind that is if your timing looks great in reverse, chances are it looks good forward. So that's just an animation adage, if you will. But if you ever were to, let's say, close out of your picture viewer, how would you get back to that preview? Well, simple. All you need to do is go to Window and choose the picture viewer from here. There it is. And there we have it. So we've learned how to preview our animation, but what if we wanted to save this out in case we wanted our director or another artist to take a look? Well, we could just simply right-click and choose Save As. So from there, we can go ahead and specify what we'd like to save this out as. Notice we have still images that we can go ahead and save, selected frames or animation. And then from there, we can go ahead and choose a format. Notice all the way at the bottom of this menu, it's kind of getting cut off in the video, but notice we can choose to render out as an AVI or QuickTime movie. And again, you have other properties here to determine exactly how you'd like to save this movie out. And then from there, you'd simply choose OK and save the file wherever you'd like. It's as simple as that. So in this lesson, again, we have learned how to preview an animation in Cinema 4D to make sure that we are playing back at the true speed. And this helps us to save a lot of time. We wouldn't want to render out the final only to realize that, hey, our timing is slightly off and we need to make a change. Now, the last thing I'd like to point out to you is you can adjust your zoom length either by using the middle mouse button or doing so from your zoom bar at the top right under the Navigator tab. So again, in this lesson, we have learned how to create a real-time preview in Cinema 4D. Make sure you do these before you hand your file off to the next artist for lighting and rendering.